Does a million copies sold mean that the author is a millionaire? My name is Gene. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. Maybe. I'm gonna give you some like just general like back of the napkin stuff here. So over a million copies sold. Did it start out as a self-published novel? Is this been traditionally published the entire time? Is the author even alive to be collecting royalties, or is this money being paid to their estate and their heirs, or is it being donated to a children's hospital because that's what they decided to do with the royalties on the book? So, like, did this person make $1 million? I don't know. Has that book generated $1 million in profit for the person who is benefiting off the royalties? Probably. Let's say that this book published in 2015, so we are talking all about like very modern money, dollars that you and I understand and that we can have a sense of how much they are actually worth. If it has sold a million copies and it was traditionally published the entire time, it is almost certainly collecting more than $1 per copy. Though again, that's not a guarantee. If you have like a book that only published in trade paperback or in like mass market paperback, and so those were all $7.99 is the list price in it, then no, probably not collecting a dollar per copy. But if it is in hardcover and list price was like $34.99, then yeah, the 8% on it is more than $1 per copy. And so that author has conceivably collected more than $1 million in royalties. Be clear, that probably doesn't make them a millionaire. If you collect $1 million in royalties even, then you pay 15% of that to a literary agent, which means that you actually are collecting $850,000, and then you pay taxes on that, but you pay taxes on the gross. And so you actually are now at what, like $550,000, which again is no small chunk of change. Like, that's a lot of money for most people. But if that has been paid out, let's say it's $500,000 has been paid out into this author's account over the last 10 years, that's about $50,000 a year. So that is, I mean, that's not nothing, right? Like, and especially if you're talking about like one single book, and anybody who has sold a million copies is likely to have been able to sell more books and other things. There's a good chance that they have an adaptation in the works at this point. Even if the adaptation never gets made, they probably are getting paid like movie options, things like that. Like, is it safe to assume? Never assume anything, but I think you could probably make a pretty reasonably educated guess that that author who has sold a million copies is making some pretty decent money off of their work.